This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Temperatures this morning in the 70s, and it's a lot more humid today. We'll talk about a triple-digit streak for the weekend forecast coming up.
Another night of protests in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, in support of an unarmed teen shot and killed by police. What we could learn today about the officer at the center of the investigation.
And we have a heads up for you if you plan to check out the bats near the Ann Richards Congress Avenue Bridge this weekend. We'll tell you how many of the animals have already tested positive for rabies.
Good morning and thank you for watching KVUE News Daybreak. This Friday morning, I'm Yvonne Nava.
And I am Tina Shively in for Brian Mays. It is Friday, August 15th. We begin with breaking news this daybreak as Austin police investigate a traffic fatality on East 7th Street at Pedernales. Pedernales, excuse me. We do not have much information at this time, but we do have a crew on the scene. We do know that police are asking you to avoid the area as they investigate that collision.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that throughout the newscast. Also, weather is a big story right now. It's going to be even hotter today. KVUE Storm Team meteorologist Albert Ramon joins us now with a look at our forecast. So how hot are we talking about, Albert?
We're talking triple digits as we head towards the mid to late afternoon, and we're going to actually be in the 90s this evening all the way up till about 10 o'clock. One thing you'll notice as you step outside, not nearly as nice as the last two mornings. The humidity is back and the temperatures are warmer. 77 degrees in Austin, a little cooler out in Fredericksburg. We're at 67. Here's a look at that hour by hour forecast. We'll go from 70s this morning into the low 90s at noon. Pretty close to 100 by 3 o'clock, and we'll peak out during the 5 o'clock hour at 100 degrees and cooling only a handful of degrees by 8 o'clock this evening to 94. And we're also tracking a slight chance of rain late this weekend into next week. Much more on that coming up in your full forecast. Time now for Check of the Roads with traffic reporter Shelley Bonner. Hey, Shelley.
Hey, Albert, good morning and a happy Friday to everyone. Well, we have that accident investigation continuing on 7th Street near Pedernales. As you guys had mentioned, the main part of the accident has already been removed, but we've got the residual investigation work going on, and that has 7th Street blocked off between at least Northwestern and Pedernales, so please just plan on avoiding this area. Now, 35 southbound from Breaker to around UT, you're flowing pretty smoothly so far. 35 north, we are moving at posted speeds, so minimal drive times from Onion Creek to about the decks, and then 183 inbound from Cedar Park. Your ride looking very nice on your way to about I-35. I'm Shelley Bonner, Daybreak Traffic.
All right, Shelley, thank you. 5:02 now. The Austin City Council will hold a special meeting this afternoon to discuss how to pay for more Onion Creek buyouts. After the Halloween floods that damaged 1,100 homes, the council started looking for additional ways to fund the buyout. One option was to increase the monthly drainage fee on your water bill, but that fee is now under a microscope after a judge ruled the way it is calculated is illegal. City staff suggests a property tax increase of 0.006 of a penny to pay for the buyouts. The council could also issue a bond.
The police shooting of an unarmed teenager near St. Louis is now sparking outcry and protests across the country. As ABC's Tamon Bradley reports, thousands of people are marching, chanting, and offering a moment of silence for Michael Brown.
Overnight, a peaceful, almost festive scene on the streets of Ferguson, Missouri. The community rallying to demand answers after Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, was shot and killed by a police officer last Saturday. It was a dramatically different scene than Wednesday night when Ferguson police, looking like a small army with tanks and heavy weapons, clashed with demonstrators.
The people that's being violent is the police.
After that violence, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon ordered a change in tactics. He stripped local police of their authority, replacing them with the State Highway Patrol.
I know that Ferguson will not be defined as a community that was torn apart by violence.
Last night, crowds cheered the trooper in charge, Captain Ron Johnson, who lives in the community, and marched alongside the protesters.
So as the old saying, I've got a dog in this fight, I've got a big dog in this fight.
Other Americans sharing similar feelings.
I may not be the same nationality as him, but it's close enough to my home and close enough to my age.
From Chicago to Times Square to Howard University, people were showing solidarity with Michael Brown.
Authorities are still investigating exactly what happened before Brown was shot and killed. There has been enormous pressure to identify the officer who pulled the trigger, and we could learn the man's name later today. Tamon Bradley, ABC News, Washington.
Hundreds of people gathered outside the Texas state capitol last night to honor victims of police brutality. The event was triggered by that fatal shooting in Ferguson. It was one of about 90 vigils held across the country as part of a national moment of silence.
And gun sales are up across the St. Louis area. The owner of Metro Shooting in Bridgeton says sales have quadrupled there since the shooting death of Michael Brown. He said he has not raised his prices, but he's aware some are still resorting to raiding their savings accounts to feel safe.
They're literally afraid. They're literally scared to death. And we're talking black and white, male and female. You know, I hate people putting such a racial overtone to this, but there are people, very good people that live in Ferguson that are afraid. They are not welcoming these riots on the black or white side, and they're coming in literally scared to death.
An Austin man is in jail this morning accused of beating a woman to death. Police say Otis Kelly killed 61-year-old Patricia Bosick at home in Central East Austin on Monday. He ran when officers responded to a 911 call from someone else in the house. They found him hiding in a trailer next door. He was arrested on a parole violation and charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
9 bats have tested positive for rabies since last Thursday, and several people have come into contact with the bats near the Ann Richards Congress Avenue Bridge. Now, the bridge is home to one of the largest colonies of Mexican free-tailed bats in the country. So far, no humans have contracted rabies from the bats near downtown Austin.
A woman in Williamson County is being treated for rabies after swatting a bat away from her leg inside of a Walmart last week. A KVUE viewer sent us a video, this video here from inside the East Palm Valley Boulevard store that's in Round Rock. She says it bit her twice. The search continues for another woman who may have also been bitten inside that same Walmart. This all happened Wednesday night, August 6th, around 9:15. Now, the woman is described as white, in her 20s, with brown or blonde hair. She was wearing shorts, flip-flops, and a blue shirt. Witnesses say she was in the beauty supply area and the bat contacted her foot. Walmart says the bats have since been removed, but if you happen to have any information, call the Wilco Health Department at 943-3660.
The Labor Day holiday is still a few weeks off, but law enforcement around the state is already stepping up DWI patrols starting today. To help make the point, yesterday in Houston, TxDOT showed off a carnival-style trailer called the Not So Fun House. It's full of activities to simulate the reduced motor skills of a drunk driver. The trailer will make appearances at events across the state, including Austin's Bat Fest next weekend. The increased DWI patrols will continue through Labor Day. That's September 1st.
Now to developing news along the border. The first wave of National Guard troops are now in position, and they are there for surveillance only. Some could be seen today manning an observation tower. The goal is to help troopers and Border Patrol agents by reporting suspicious activity. The deployment is expected to cost $12 million a month.
Well, Twitter is vowing to improve its policies this daybreak after Robin Williams' daughter was bullied off the network.
And it's a high-tech way to make your day a bit more stress-free. In Tech Bites, how the Muse headband works. It's going to make you calmer. I think we all need those around here.
Exactly, sure. Plus, a ferry is overtaken by a powerful wave. Take a look at the damage left behind.